say goodbye in January, I died on a Thursday. Well, at least I took my own life on a Thursday. My name is Michael, a forsaken name, forsaking me to a life of self-destructive martyrdom before I could even crawl. I didn't choose it. My mother didn't choose it either. She didn't even sign the birth certificate. She was somewhere else, in drug dens, finding a way to get a fix, while I fought for breath in an incubator for 2 weeks. Plastic walls, tubes, machines breathing for me, because I hadn't figured out how to do it myself yet. My grandmother chose the name. The same grandmother who couldn't cry since World War II, whatever she saw there having cauterized something essential. She said a novena prayer for me 8 days, one part each day, whispering to God she wasn't sure listened anymore, asking him to save a baby whose mother had already left. Michael, warrior angel, protector, the merciless one who casts out demons. I could have been a Mitchell. Just a few letters difference, a softer sound, a name that meant who is like God as a question, not a declaration. Mitchell could have been anyone. Mitchell could have worked in an office, coached Little League, lived a small, uncomplicated life. But Michael had wings. And my wings never let me take flight. Clipped before I was born, maybe. Written into my cells. My blood type is literally B negative. The nurse told me that once and laughed like it was a coincidence. I didn't laugh. Nothing about me has ever been a coincidence. Everything is forecast, predetermined, stamped into the genetic code by people who came before and fucked it all up. My last name is Lloyd. Welsh, meaning gray. Michael Lloyd, the gray angel, the one with broken wings and negative blood, doomed to a life of trying to save people while slowly martyring himself in the process. It's all there. It was always there. Written on a birth certificate my mother never signed, chosen by a grandmother who couldn't cry, sealed by a God who has a sick sense of humor. There was a road trip once. I was maybe 7. Grandmother driving her Buick with the vinyl seats that burned your legs in summer. We went to a town known for their natural springs. Sulfur smell thick in the air. Too many stop signs for a place where nobody lived. Deer carcasses on the expressway, already gray and rotting. Hawks circling overhead like they were waiting for the next thing to die. We stopped at a rest area. Inside, behind smudged glass, stood Zoltan, a coin-operated fortune teller, turbaned head bobbing mechanically, dead eyes that somehow saw everything. Grandmother gave me a quarter, said nothing, just waited. I put the coin in, Zoltan word to life, cards shuffling inside his wooden cabinet, and out came the slip of paper. Try to cultivate a redhead. Grandmother read it, made a sound that might have been a laugh if she still remembered how. We got back in the car, drove through that gray town with its gray springs and its gray future, and she never explained what it meant, but I thought about it for years. Tried to cultivate a redhead, like growing something, like tending to something that might bloom in soil that had only ever produced ash. Nell has red hair. Not auburn, not strawberry blonde, proper red. The color of October leaves and warning signs, and the one bright thing in a gray world. When she was born, the nurse placed her in my arms, and I saw that hair and remembered Zoltan, remembered the sulfur town and my grandmother's almost laugh, and I thought, this is it. This is what I was supposed to cultivate. This is how I rewrite the story, my daughter, my red-headed girl, the fortune I was promised at 7 years old in a rest stop that smelled like diesel and old coffee, and the future. I'm 39 now. Grandmother's been dead for 6 years, buried without tears because she couldn't cry and I'd forgotten how. My mother showed up to the funeral high, left before the burial. Some patterns are grooves worn too deep to escape. Some names are prophecies you can't outrun. Nell is 9. Somewhere 6 miles away in the city, breathing air I can't share, living a life I'm not allowed to witness. The court took her because I was my mother's son, because damage passes down like eye color and blood type and the inability to be whole. Because they saw the incubator baby who became the struggling father and decided history repeats, gray breeding gray, be negative passing on the negative. Maybe they were right, Michael Lloyd. Self-destructive martyr. It's what I was named for. It's what I became. The apartment knows my grief. The walls have learned it, absorbed it, turned gray with it. There's a corner where I keep her things, gifts for birthdays I won't attend, Christmases that will happen without me. A bicycle with pink streamers, the only red thing in this gray room. Books about brave girls who save kingdoms. A graduation card already signed, dated 8 years from now, when she'll be 17 and I'll be nowhere. Just a name she barely remembers. Just a gray space where a father used to be. I laid the pills out in rows tonight. Organized by color: white, blue, yellow. No red. Never red. Red is for Nell. Red is for the living. Gray is for the Lloyds. I thought about Zoltan. That mechanical fortune teller in a town with too many stop signs. Try to cultivate a redhead. I did. I tried. For 9 years, I tried to be the gardener, the tender of this precious thing, this miracle with copper hair and a future that didn't have to be gray. But you can't cultivate what they take away. You can't grow anything when your blood type is negative and your wings were clipped and your name means warrior, but you were born already defeated, Michael. Not Mitchell. Never Mitchell, Michael the martyr. Michael the gray. Michael whose wings never let him take flight, because flight requires something I never had, the ability to rise above what I was named, what I was born into, what my blood literally spelled out. Be negative, be negative. The letter sits on the table. Typed because my handwriting looks like it's dying, because everything about me has been dying since the incubator, since the unsigned birth certificate, since the moment my grandmother chose a name that doomed me to this. Dear Nell, your great-grandmother couldn't cry. Your grandmother, my mother, couldn't stay. I couldn't figure out how to live without you. We're a long line of people who couldn't do the thing that mattered most. But you're different. You're red. You're the bright thing. You're what breaks the pattern. I'm Michael Lloyd. Gray angel with clipped wings and negative blood. Self-destructive martyr. It was written in my name before I took my first breath. I tried to cultivate you. I tried to give you something different. But gray soil only grows gray things. And I was always going to fail you, because failure is what Lloyds do. It's genetic. It's nominal. It's fate. A fortune teller told me to cultivate a redhead when I was 7. And when you were born, I thought maybe that meant I could be saved, that you were my redemption, that loving you would rewrite everything that came before. But martyrs don't get redemption, they get crosses. And I'm so tired of carrying mine. You're 9 now. By the time you read this, if you ever read this, you'll be older. Maybe you'll understand. Maybe you'll just feel relief that the gray father is finally gone, that you can be read without me pulling you down into the ash. I loved you. Present tense doesn't work for the dead, for the B negative, for the Michael Lloyds of the world. I loved you the way drowning people love air, the way my grandmother must have loved God when she prayed over my incubator, desperate and half believing. And wrong be red, Nell. Stay red. Don't let the gray get in the first pill. Then the second. The bottle empties like bloodlines, like hope, like all the novenas that almost worked, but were always doomed to fail. I think about my wings, the ones I never had, the ones that were clipped before I was born. Michael the angel who never flew, who spent 39 years falling and calling it life. I think about Zoltan. Dead mechanical eyes that saw the future anyway. He knew. Somehow he knew there would be a red-headed girl, and she would matter more than anything, and I would lose her anyway because that's what gray angels do. We love bright things, and we destroy them or ourselves trying. Try to cultivate a redhead. I did. I swear to God I did. But Michael Lloyd was never meant to cultivate. Only to martyr. Only to bleed negative. Only to turn everything gray in the end. The ceiling is tilting. The room breathing. Somewhere 6 miles away, Nell is sleeping. Red hair on a white pillow. Dreaming of things that don't include me. And that's good, that's right. That's how it should be. My grandmother who couldn't cry since the war. My mother who couldn't stay. Me who couldn't figure out how to be a father in a world that took my daughter and expected me to keep breathing anyway. Michael Lloyd. Be negative. The gray angel. Named to a life of self-destructive martyrdom by a woman who prayed for 8 days straight and got me anyway, this half-saved thing. This incubator baby who grew up wrong, who loved wrong, who couldn't protect the one perfect red thing he ever helped make. The room is going soft now. Abstract. Gray bleeding into gray, until you can't tell where I end and the walls begin. Nell red like warning signs, red like October, red like the last thing I see before everything goes the color of my name. The hawks are circling. The deer are already gray on the expressway. I'm dissolving into the sulfur town, into the rest stop, where a mechanical fortune teller told a 7-year-old boy to cultivate something beautiful. And he tried. God, he tried. But some gardens are cursed from the start. Some names are prophecies. Some wings are born broken. Some blood types spell out your whole pathetic fucking story. Michael Lloyd. Gray angel. Clipped wings. Negative. I stop breathing. Or maybe I never really started. Same thing. Really.